NBCUniversal just named a new broadcast facility in Universal City, California, after you, calling it the Brokaw News Center. And I have to ask you, when you were 26, starting as a correspondent in Los Angeles, did you ever think that the entire facility would be named after you one day?
No, I was still trying to find my way to the restroom. They did assign me a parking space, and I came in the next day and there was this huge gold Chrysler parked in my parking space. I said, I thought that was my parking space. And they said, actually, that's Bob Hope's car. He parks wherever he wants to. So I kind of knew where I was in the food chain at NBC at that point.
Have you seen the center yet?
I've seen photographs of it, and I must say, it's very moving. I'm very touched by this. It was completely unexpected. My family, who's lived with whatever public personality I have forever, they don't get much worked up about attention that I get. In this case, they're pretty jacked up about it. They're all going to show up, and they say, hey, Dad, this is a big deal.
I've heard you refer to yourself before when you were in the field as the Rain Man, because you could memorize scripts without a teleprompter.
Right.
And I was desk assistant at Nightly News, and people would always talk about this ability that you had. How did you do that?
I was always a talkative kid, for one thing. And then when I got into this business, I did a lot of radio, which was ad-libbing. And I have developed what I call the teleprompter of my mind. If I write something one time and look at it, there is some cell up there that implants it. And so when I go out and look into the camera, one word leads to the next paragraph form.
And I've also heard you describe yourself during your early years at the University of Iowa as a wild child.
Wild child.
And University of South Dakota. Was there ever a moment when you decided to get it all together and become a journalist?
Yeah, there was. It's still a mystery to me. Failure is a big teacher, and I came out of high school a real whiz kid. I got to Iowa, which was more competitive, and I went off the rail. I didn't flunk out, but I just didn't do very well. Went back to South Dakota, continued to crater, and I was interested in this young woman I'd gone to high school with who was kind of everything that I wasn't at that point. I wrote to her and said, hey, I'm coming up this weekend, I'll give you a call. She wrote back and said, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want you to come by. I don't know what's going on with you, but I have no interest in pursuing this relationship in any way. And I thought, maybe I'm not fooling people. So I got a job. I commuted 50 miles every morning at 6 in the morning. The professor who was the head of the political science department was a kind of guru. He turned out most of the governors in the state and Rhodes Scholars, and I was his pet project. And he said, you're play by my rules now. And it was turnaround. And that woman, Meredith, came to me 6 months later and said, I overstepped. That was going too far. And I said, no, you probably saved my life. And 9 months later, we got married. So, it's one of those wild American stories.
Of all the people that you've met and interviewed and all the stories that you've worked on, do you ever get nervous? Did you ever get nervous?
Well, with you. I mean, apart from that, I'm shaky. Not much anymore. The memorable people are the people whose names I don't remember, and I don't even know sure we got them, who are doing heroic work under really difficult circumstances and not expecting any attention or any payback. I remember a young guy, we were in Somalia, and there was a tent with mortar shells going all around us. He was trying to save the leg of a Somali child. He's from Oklahoma, and it was dangerous and it was hard. And I said, why are you doing this? And he said, Mr. I'm not sure. I came from a poor family. God gave me these abilities, and I think this is where I should be. He said, I'll go back to Tulsa and I'll replace hips at some point and make a lot of money, but I ought to be right here, right now. And that's what it's all about.
And then just last question, if there was going to be a plaque in front of this center and there was a quote underneath it about you, what would it say?
It would say, this is Tom Brokaw. He got here with a lot of help, and he's never stopped being grateful to the cameramen, the producers, the editors, the motorcycle riders, the people who got him to where he was. We've gone through so much together, and it's been so rewarding, and we've had a ton of laughs along the way and real adventures. So that's the most meaningful thing for me.
I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Well, the time is here. We've been through a lot together, through dark days and nights and seasons of hope and joy. Whatever the story, I had only one objective, to get it right. When I failed, it was personally painful, and there was no greater urgency than course correction. On those occasions, I was grateful for your forbearance and always mindful that your patience and attention didn't come with a lifetime warranty. I was not alone here, of course. I am simply the most conspicuous part of a large, thoroughly dedicated and professional staff that extends from just beyond these cameras across the country and around the world, in too many instances in places of grave danger and personal hardship, and their family to me. What have I learned here? More than we have time to recount this evening, but the enduring lessons through the decades are these. It's not the questions that get us in trouble, it's the answers. And just as important, no one person has all the answers. Just ask a member of the generation that I came to know well, the men and women who came of age in the Great Depression, who at great personal sacrifice saved the world in World War II and returned home to dedicate their lives to improving the nation they had already served so nobly. They weren't perfect, no generation is, but this one left a large and vital legacy of common effort to find common ground here and abroad in which to solve our most vexing problems. They did not give up their personal beliefs and greatest passions, but they never stopped learning from each other, and most of all, they did not give up on the idea that we're all in this together. We still are, and it is in that spirit that I say thanks for all that I have learned from you. That's been my richest reward. That's Nightly News for this Wednesday night. I'm Tom Brokaw. You'll see Brian Williams here tomorrow night, and I'll see you along the way.
So thanks for the memory of Brokaw's expertise that enhances NBC's. We know he'll climb at any time. He does it in a breeze. And we thank him so much. Tom, good luck. Hope you stay awake till 7 p.m.